So, to elective Israel, to the hopeful elected Israel, the Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. I want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi, Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles and great millstone led me to this truth. I've been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, and pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness, and bring each other forgiveness and wrath to all those who are part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord, will be part of that number. Lord, will this be edified of those who fear the name of the Lord and strive to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. It is not like 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 is unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Water for everybody that's tuning in. Yahawah, smell outside, Barak, Atham. Shalom, everybody on the comment board coming in. Shalom, love. And we're going to get into this, back into this part 2. We're going to deal with some things concerning World War III, some pre-topics, and we're going to deal with a couple more things. And I'm gonna get out with the day. Got a lot going on today, so I just wanted to come finish this lesson, and Lord will not be able to make another one a little later. So it says Russia to arm nuclear submarines with unmatched hypersonic missiles. Okay. Now, I was listening to Apostle Dahar, one of his videos yesterday, and there's this group of people who, I guess at some point was yelling about how there's no intercontinental ballistic missiles in the Bible, things like this, but we went over these things. But it's good to just redo them, through these articles to show you, these things, the scriptures talked about them in the time before, now, in the past. And that's what John the Revelator seen. And, that's also in the book of Joel, they speak of these missiles. And, I like to tie those two together because it gives you an understanding, for those who are new coming into truth. And it's something that we can always touch on because it's something very serious that we got to deal with as a people. You don't want to get caught by one of these, man. And you're not serving Yahawashi, you're going to get caught with one of these. So we're going to read a little bit of this. Moscow's military is outfitting the new Yashin M submarines with hypersonic Zircon missiles that the Russian President Vladimir Putin has laughed as unmatched, right? And it's not even just let alone it's unmatched. It's not just going to be missiles coming from them. It's going to be missiles coming from many different people on the earth. Okay, and that's what this whole summit that we're going to talk about in a minute. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be the ones that do it, but Russia's going to be the lead of them. So it says, according to the head of Russia's largest shipbuilding company, many of the multi-purpose new Yasin M submarines, which one expert previously described to Newsweek as the crown jewel of contemporary Russian Navy, will carry the new Zyklon missiles. Alexei, I think it's Rakamov or something, Rakamov, I think Chief Executive Officer of the United Shipbuilding Corporation, told Russian state news agency. So work is in this direction the work in this direction is already underway. He said in an interview published on Monday. So the Lord, when you look at Joel chapter 3, verse 10, he is telling these other nations to break down their, it said, beat down your plowshares and turn them into swords. And these swords are speaking of intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's the modern day sword now, right? You know, and it's saying, let the weak say I'm strong. So now they're building their strength right now, okay, for them to be used, man. This is the smith that the Lord, you know, put in the mind of Esau Edom to create to destroy himself. And that's what they're for. Therefore, Esau Edom to destroy himself. So let me get back over here. I clicked on something by accident. So now we're going to deal with some precepts concerning this. You know, and I'll bring it up before in other videos, but I like to recap over these things as we go along, you know. So we'll do it in the blue letter. That's fine. Joel chapter 2, verse 1. All right. Hopefully, Lord willing, y'all can see that just fine. Try to make it as close as possible. I know everybody don't got something big to read this on. So we're gonna start at verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion. And that trumpet is this warning. It's a warning, it's an alarm. And the Lord's using his men, the mouthpiece, to tell our people, like, this is a warning, saying there are certain things we got to do to escape this judgment, you know. And sound an alarm in my holy mountain. And we know that today is the Shabbat, you know, Shabbat Shalom and all y'all out there. And this is the, you know, the blowing of the trumpets. Okay. And I was listening to a video Elder Yahawah did about, you know, kind of what that means and breaking that down. And, you know, I left it in my comment board. I left it, I did a, you know, I shared it. And it's something real edifying that I actually want to go and take notes on as well. You know, as a new brother like me coming into truth, I'm always learning something every day. So sound alarm in my holy mountain, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Now you got some of our people who look at it like, you think it's really gonna happen in our lifetime? You really think this, like, you think they just got all these missiles and they're gonna hold them for 100,000 years? They're gonna use these motherfuckers, man. They're gonna use them. Okay? So our people think like the Lord's not coming, man, in our lifetime. They feel like, you know, because you got some jakes, they believe when we tell them, and they hear us, but they don't understand the seriousness of it. They be like, it's not that serious. No, this is dead serious, man. We're talking about some people in our family member are going to be deleted forever. Like their mindsets and what they think about is going to be gone forever, man. And when they come out, they're going to look like just like everything that we read on these pages, man. Through these scriptures, man. That's what they're going to look like. They're going to look like this. Okay, there ain't gonna be no more, you know, Tyrones, as that's the new saying for these people who have been, you know, Jake being cloned in America, Babylon the Great, his persona, you know, off of all these different images of these jakes that Esau Edom has basically given all this money to be a certain way. So I don't want to talk too much about it. Just want to try to put that point out there. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, right? What's that from? The intercontinental ballistic missiles, the mushroom clouds. As the morning spread upon the mountains, right? The mountains is the nations. First and foremost, America, Babylon the Great, land of Israel, China, which is Moab, okay? They're going to face the same situation, man. They're going to get bombed, man. It's not going to be just one place. So a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So after this happens, there ain't going to be no more war. You know, we got some of our people saying, we believe in the new covenant. Okay, well, what do you mean you believe in the new covenant? Because the new covenant does exist, but we don't have it yet. We don't got no spiritual powers. We don't have no immortal bodies. We still subject to this flesh, to this sin. So we can't be in the new covenant until we are one with Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Yahawashi coming with us, that is the new covenant. That's the marriage. You know, the new covenant is a promise that we'll never die again and we'll get to rule the universe with it. So if we haven't got to do that, then how are we in the new covenant? And that's the point. You know, when we make that to our people, they still don't get it. And it's just like, that's how you know Yahawah and Yahawashi doesn't desire them at this time. He will allow them to come back into the kingdom, but he's got to literally purge them out through fire, man, because they don't want to listen. But hey, it's written for them not to listen. So hey, it is what it is. You know, we just glad we're not part of those people who are not listening. You know, and that's only because of grace and mercy of Yahawah Shema Shah. It's nothing to do with us. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, they have not been ever the like, right? And it won't happen for many generations. A fire devoured before them, behind them a flame burning. That's the nuclear warheads. You know, when they shoot out and then the warheads in the front pop out, that's what it's talking about. And the flame that burneth is what launches them, right? The fire that come out of it. The land is the garden of Eden before them, right? Which is talking about the land of Israel, and it's also going to be America, Babylon the Great, other places around the world, and behind them a desolate wilderness. What does that sound like, man? That's a nuke, man. Okay? Yea, and nothing shall escape them. You got some people out here talking about old Babylon is what they talking about. The you know, the old Babylon in Iraq is where they talking about. When it comes to America, when it comes to Babylon the Great, and that doesn't make sense because everybody is not being ruled, you know, and like everybody in Israel, you know, all of Israel, we were scattered across the four corners of the earth, but mostly America, Babylon the Great, and when you read it in Revelations, you know, it basically breaks down to you in many different chapters that it's America, man. Once you really get into the scriptures, that it can't be over there in Iraq. We didn't all get scattered to Iraq. The majority of us is in America, man. He said he would bring us into Egypt again, and over there in Iraq, they don't have dollars with pyramids on them and whatnot, Sodom and Gomorrah on a mass scale like it is over here, man. This is where it's at, man. This is the lake of fire, man. We standing right in the middle of the lake of fire, and the only way we're getting out of here is Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. So the appearance of them are appearance as horses, right? And as horsemen, so shall they run. So when you look at that horses, right, that's talking about the missiles, man. That's talking about power. Horse means power. So, you know, but John the Baptist or John the Revelator at that time in Revelations, he didn't know what an intercontinental ballistic missile was. That's why when he seen it, he didn't understand fully. But I want to pull this up. This is Revelation. We're going to go back right after we read this real quick. Revelations chapter 9. We're going to go down to 16. Okay? And it said the horsemen, right? And all these men that the Lord dealt with, they had a certain account, man. They knew what they all knew what the Lord wanted them to do, but they didn't understand it. That's why sometimes when the elders and apostles tell us to do stuff, even if we don't understand, what do? We do it. They say, stop dealing with somebody. Hey, we don't ask questions. We just stop dealing with them. It's for whatever reason. That's out of our pay grade to be asking why. You know, our lives is on the line, man. And not even let on that, our heritage is on the line. We are here battling for our heritage. So Revelation 9 verse 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. What's that? That's 200 million. Man. And I heard the number of them, right? Verse 17, and I saw the horses in the vision. See, he's seen it. Okay, he's seen this place getting destroyed. Okay, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issue what? Fire, smoke, and brimstone. What's that? That's a missile, man. What else could it be? It can't be a damn firecracker. It's a missile, man. And Jay just bugged out, man. And what happened to him? What did they do? By these three was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke from what? The mushroom clouds, the radiation, and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths, man. Okay, this is gonna happen to everybody who take that MARK, the micro C hit, man. That little small grain of rice that you got to put in your hand. That's a part of the central digital bank currency system. Okay, to be a part of society. So we know this is prophecy, man. And they're talking about this in the news and stuff. And they saying that it's gonna happen soon, and our people are still like, you think it's gonna happen in our time? What do you mean? What do you mean it's not gonna happen in our time? There's plenty of different signs and other things. Once you really get deeper into it, you'll know. But you know, the true thing that makes you understand is you got to have the spirit, man. You don't have the spirit, you're gonna think like that. The Lord's He's gonna make you where you don't make it, because He doesn't want you to make it. Like the noise of the chariots on the tops of the mountains, back to verse 5, Joel, shall they leap like the noise of a flame that devoureth the stubble. And what's stubble? Like wood, whenever it's done, whenever you've got a fire going, and that's what's left, the stubble of the fire. As a strong people set in the battle array. Here's another one that said, the people shall be as the wood for the fire, man. Before their face shall much be pain. All faces shall gather blackness, man. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. That fire, when it hit, it's going to hit everything. And they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Why? What does that mean? They're going to hit where the Lord wants them to hit, man. The GPS system's on there. You know, it says in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12, verse 1, it says that the Lord's incorruptible spirit is in all things. So that means that wherever this stuff is going to go, it's got the Lord's spirit in it, man. It's not going to return in vain, man. It's going to go where He sent it, man. So neither shall one thrust another, right? They ain't going to hit each other. They shall walk everyone in his path. They ain't going to miss. When they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Ain't going to be no duds. All 200 million are going to hit. They shall run to and fro in the city and shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in the windows like a thief. And what did it say? The Lord shall come in like a thief before the night. Then the earth shall quake before them. And what's that's going to cause? Tsunamis, all other types of stuff, okay? All other types of stuff. It's going to be just more than that you're going to have to deal with, man, if you're not, you know, under the Lord's grace, man. The heaven shall tremble, and the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining, because all that smoke in them clouds, and not let alone that, it also means, you know, in a way that the ones who are out here teaching this doctrine and the ones, you know, who are striving to be the elect to the best of our abilities, we're trying to put off that image. We hope to be a part of that number, but whoever those people are who are the elect, they're not going to be here no more, man. Okay, this place is going to be utterly wicked, man. Laid desolate. And everybody here left here is going to feel it. They're going to be like, damn, all the people that were sitting on the highways and byways were sitting there trying to warn us, man. And the Lord shall utter His voice before His army, for His camp is very great, right? He is strong that executed His word, for the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. And who can abide it? Nobody can. You can't abide the day of the Lord. That's why the Lord got to send Michael, our angel, down here just to protect the elect and get him out of there. You know, we hope to be a part of that number, man. He said He got to speed up the time, because there ain't going to be no flesh left to be saved whenever Esau Edom come in like a flood, man. And so what did the Lord say we need to be doing? Therefore also now saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, which is your mind, and with fasting and with weeping and with mourning, man. Okay? This isn't our rest, man. And we should be over here in a sense of, damn, man, we in our captivity. We trying to get out of here, man. This ain't party time. And I was listening to Elder Yahawah, and he was talking about how there was a time where there was a time to laugh and have a good time or whatever, but that's not that time, man. That's a different trumpet, man. You know, you got some of our people who are telling people to increase here in a way where, we're gonna stay here, man. And that's not going off, man. That's not the trumpet that should be getting blown. So this trumpet that you're hearing right now, you can't hear this, then that means that the Lord's got you thinking it's an unfamiliar sound or whatever. Hey, man, you got to pray to Bahasham, Yahawashi, remove that. Because that's what that is, man. You know, there's no way that, you know, anybody who really loves Bahasham, Yahawashi is not in fear, okay, of being left behind, man. And just like I did a little video, and it showed like SpongeBob and Patrick, or SpongeBob and Squidward, they get left, man. Okay, the vehicle they was in, he like kicked the vehicle because he like, oh, how could it get worse? And the vehicle left, and they both had to deal with the trouble ahead. And that's what I'm saying. Like, whoever is the elect is gonna have to deal with it just like 2/3. We're all gonna go through this test, man. And we're gonna get tested more. The ones that actually say we love Yahawashi and out here doing the work and out here putting our lives on the line. The Lord's gonna test us more than everybody else, man. So that's why we're more serious, because we know, just like it says in James chapter 3, verse 1, don't be so quick to teach, because we're gonna get punished more severely. So we have to portray ourselves a certain way. We can't just do whatever we want, man. So this is Revelation, or Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, right? We're supposed to be warning people, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way. And that's the problem. Jake don't want no correction. You want to tell them smoking bad, you need to start smoking weed. They be, I'm not doing no wrong. I ain't done nothing. I'm a good guy. I'm not hurting anybody. And it's just all emotional ass, feminine ass bullshit, man. Okay, you gotta act like a man in this thing. And I'm not saying that, women is a feminine woman, a woman that serves the Lord. That's not a bad thing. But if you're a man and you acting like a fucking female, bro, hey, you need to cut that shit out, man. Hey, our people's lives is on the line. Our lives is on the line. I'm not here to keep fucking telling your ass some shit that you know that ain't right, and then you over here arguing with me telling that it's not right. And then had the nerve to be like, oh, well, because they don't got no understanding. They'll be like, oh, well, y'all burn incense and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just like smoking. No, it's not. We burn incense to Yahawashi. What are you talking about? We know in the scriptures they talk about other people burn incense on the other guys, man. And smoking is a way of that. Is a form of that. Smoking weed. That's like worshiping sin, worshiping flesh, man. Defiling your lungs, man. And this is the temple of the Most High, man. We're not supposed to be doing that kind of stuff. And I'm not gonna act like, they try to make it seem like we act holier than now. We all came from rough places. We all came out of sin. But that don't mean that we just gonna keep doing it and be like, oh well, I'm just gonna do what I want. I'm gonna be me. Well, you gonna be you. All right. Well, you gonna be you until it's time to get took out, man. This ain't no fucking game to be playing, man. The Lord's not fucking playing with nobody, man. So thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way. And that's the thing, Jake don't think they wicked, man. To save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. So we're not trying to be held accountable from you not listening to what we said, man. We trying to tell you not to do some shit, and you want to keep doing the shit. Then eventually, yes, we're gonna have to slowly back away from your ass, because you're going to end up turning into a damn demon. But our people can't understand that when you're trying to explain stuff to Jay. They just act like they so fucking intelligent. Well, if you were so damn intelligent, you could just stop smoking the damn weed, man. You know what I'm saying? But, you still got to be patient with some people. With some people, man, you just got to be like, man, they just going to be a straight nigga, and they just going to never change, man. You got to leave them alone. So verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn him not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So that's why we do that, man. And this is another thing that's important. Again, when a righteous man doeth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, which is sin upon sin, and I lay a stumbling block before him, and we don't want that. We don't want to get a stumbling block laid before us. Man, we're trying to stay clear, man, on this clear, straight gate. He shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin. His righteousness, which he hath done, shall not be remembered, man. But his blood will I require at thine hand. So it's still even important if you see somebody that's righteous and start turning away. If you don't warn that person either, the Lord's going to require that at your hand too. We got to warn people, man. See? That's our job, man. We're supposed to tell you what you don't want to fucking hear, man. Same way with us. We check ourselves every day. I done got rebuked before. If you don't get rebuked in this thing, that means that what? Nobody didn't even want you to get saved, man. That's what we here for, to get corrected, man. We came here to get correction. That's why we need a teacher. Verse 21, nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he doeth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered thy soul. And that's really what we want. We want that verse 21. We want both of us, whoever you telling to warn them, you want them to get out, and you want to get out, man. So, we'll just stop right there and go to the next one. It's Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 9. See, the watchman's duty. That's the whole thing, man. This is our duty. See? It says it right here too. I just want to show it. It's in several parts of the scripture, so you can see this is simple. Okay. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way, Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 9, to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Therefore, son of man. See, they always say that the Lord, why is he don't deal with men? Yeah, he does. Everywhere there. Son of man, speak unto the house of Israel. See, thus she speaks, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we pine away from them, how should we then live? And Jake make it seem like it's not a big deal to live, man, but you wake up every morning and get something to eat. You wake up and go get something to drink, and you don't ask, well, how does this food work when I digest it or what? You don't ask none of that. You just eat the damn food. But it's like when it's come to the precept, they want to know. They like, you got to tell me everything, and I ain't got to study shit. Like, what are you talking about, bro? You got to get in there and figure this shit out too, man. Okay, and listen to the elders and apostles, man. You got to seek the Lord with fear and trembling, man. Every man has his own walk with Yahawah and Yahawashi. You gotta get out there. You gotta make that stuff on you gotta put your own strength into it, man. Just like when you got a car, ain't nobody gonna drive it for your ass. So I want to put this in, but we're gonna go over here first, and we're gonna pull up another article before I deal with this scripture. Okay, because we talked about the missiles. And these, I'm not going to read them too much. So you're going to be able to understand through the article. You can go read them if you want. And the time's running out. Like I seen another article. YouTube is about to start taking stuff down, man. They're saying they're basically talking about coming after the prophets, man. And when we can't teach this no more, we might be able to go to Odyssey and whatnot for a time being. But after we get taken off all the platforms, man, that's game over, man. They start taking the prophets off the street. We can't go out and teach no more. That's game over, man. You ain't gonna get no more chances, man. Lord tired of warning Jake, man. So this is Wagner and Iran, which is modern day Persia, are turning Belarus into a new front in Europe, right? So let's see what they doing, man. Just a little bit. Belarus is emerging as a new critical front in the war in Europe, right? Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia have all rushed thousands of troops to their borders, right? Didn't it say that the least of the flock shall draw them out, which is the elites, right? Amalek, the first descendants of Esau, where they at? To their borders, over the past few weeks in response to the Belarusian military exercises in the west of the country. Officials from NATO countries, which is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, countries tell Semaphore that they are also closely monitoring the influx of Wagner mercenaries forces to Belarus following their failed June uprising in Russia and their training of Belarusian security services. And they are concerned about Minsk growing ties with Russian ally Iran. See? So they're getting ready, man. They're getting ready, man. They're getting ready. Okay? It's going to go down. It ain't going to be them coming over here and standing outside for 100 years. They finna get busy. Okay? It's finna get for real. And while that's happening, we got this happening. Okay? And then we're going to pull up the rest of these precepts. And then I got one more article, and then we're going to get out of here. So 45 countries prepared to join Brics before summit, right? Which is Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, South Africa, or you could say Saudi Arabia right here. Okay, it's many countries. Okay, but the scriptures talk about this. So it says the latest update. We're gonna get a little bit into this because we like to consider the matter and be specific about what's actually happening. So in the latest update, a total of 45 countries are preparing to join the BRICS alliance weeks ahead of the summit. Okay, so they're preparing for this. A new country that expressed interest and formally submitted its application to join the BRICS bloc is Palestine. You serious? Look at that, man. A growing number of countries are showing discontent with the US dollar, which means what? They're hissing at this place's plagues, man. They tired of this place, man. And Americans' control over global finances. They're saying we tired of them ruling. We trying to run shit, man. It's been long enough. They over there got fruit roll-ups, motherfucker, in the military. They got a woman running the Navy. We tired of this shit, man. We going in more debt, man. Fucking with them, right? They tired of this shit. Therefore, BRICS is making use of the dissatisfaction, which they're hissing at our plagues, by convincing the other countries to ditch the US dollar and trade in native currencies. And that's what it was talking about in I think it's Jeremiah chapter 50, man. They talk about that they tired of this place, man. They hissing at this place's plagues. So BRICS is successful in convincing other countries to settle cross-border transactions in local currency sidelining the US dollar. Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, and the ASEAN countries are ditching the US dollar and looking to promote local currencies for trade. So when you look down here, we're going to see how many he's actually applied and which ones are just thinking about it. So a total of 23 countries have formally applied to join the BRICS alliance weeks before the summit. So another 22 countries have expressed interest to enter the bloc, but have not sent their formal applications yet. This takes a tally to 45 countries that are looking to be a part of the BRICS alliance at the coming summit. So half of them are already in. You see? So this is the Lord moving these chess pieces, man. And this is going to show you they're going to all come together. Okay, this is real simple. And it's going to show you what they're going to do too. Okay, this is one I go over several times. I'll be really wanting Jake to get this one because I'm like, look, man, you don't think this shit finna go down? They're literally meeting this month, okay? Like not too long from now. Okay, I don't know exactly what day is it. It is, well, let me see before I read it. When is the BRICS Summit? When is it? August 22nd through the 24th. So that's next week, man. That's next week, man. They finna meet on that shit, man. And this is what the Lord, this is this prophecy being fulfilled right now. Okay? I want to start at 4 to get to the point. So it says, matter of fact, let's start at 3. Now it says, and say, you know what? Let's start at 1. Let's just start at 1. It's not going to be too much. So I'm not going to read too much. So verse 1, and the word of the Lord came unto me. Who's that me? Whoever the prophet is, because all of us out here saying the same thing on one accord, saying, Son of man, and next time he told son of man again, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog, and who's Gog? That's Russia. That's modern day Russia. The chief of the prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, right? So what it's saying is that basically he's getting all these people together, and they think that they're getting together to be the next rulers, but the Lord is having them kill their own people. You know, because it says in Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2, I will set Egyptian against Egyptian. That's talking about America, Babylon, the great Edomites, and the Russian Edomites. Okay, he's got them coming together. Satan's going to destroy himself, and then the Lord is going to tear their ass up after that, right? And say, thus saith the Lord Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, right? And what he's telling them to do? I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. What's that? Putting it back into that Soviet Union, making them wicked Russians. Okay, and they were talking about, I seen the article yesterday, they got a Ukrainian soldier and they just tortured the shit out of his ass. They didn't even question him or look for information. They just tortured the fuck out of him and killed him, man. This is what the Lord talking about. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen. What's that? Them missiles that we were talking about in that last article, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. They got guns too. Verse 5, Persia. Who's Persia? Persia is Iran, man. Over there in Wagner, right here. They right there, man. That's Persia. And those are the ones who took down Babylon last time. And they out here on the block, ready to do it again. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. All of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, and the house of Togomar, and the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. It said 45 countries, man. It's finna be many. It's finna be a battle, man. Verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. See, they're gonna all go behind Russia. Why? Because they're the first ones to stand up against America, Babylon the Great. Then back down. So verse 8, after many days thou shalt be visited in the latter years. What's that? The last, the end. Thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel. So you know Israel is going to be destroyed, which have always been waste. Why has it been waste? Because we're not over there. We scattered across 4 corners of the earth. Them heathens over there right now. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Right? So in the end, the elect is going to get saved out of this, man. Okay? And everybody else is going to get tore up. Verse 9, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. And what are they going to do? Verse 10, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, it shall also come to pass at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And that is going to be sending 200 million intercontinental ballistic missiles over here, man. Thus finishing this prophecy, okay? But first, the sea hip has to be made mandatory first before this goes down, right? So the Lord's getting everything in place. So Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, which is Esau eating the so-called white man, America, Babylon the Great, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, okay? And that bear is talking about Russia. Because when you look up that word bear, it means to be sufficient, to be enough. Right? And that's talking about them other nations coming as a guard unto them. Okay, all the way in whole another book of the Bible, man. And his mouth as a mouth of a lion, And the dragon gave him his power, which we know is the Roman Empire, and his seat and great authority. Okay? We know this stuff, man. You know, us who believe in Bahasham, Rawchaa, we know this stuff. So now I got a couple more precepts and we're gonna close out. But this is Revelation chapter 8 or chapter 18, chapter 8 or verse 8. And it reads, therefore shall her plagues, who's that her? America, Babylon the Great. There ain't no Statue of Liberty in Iraq, man. That's why I call this place the mother of all whores, man. Okay? It's talking about that so-called Statue of Liberty, man. That's why I said it had the cup full of the abominations. She's standing out there with that cup with the fire coming out of it, man. That's talking about America, Babylon the Great, man. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, with the missiles. But strong is the Lord Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, who judgeth her. Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, with what? Using the petrodollar. And you know, a lot of Jake don't understand what the petrodollar is. It's a Ponzi scheme. That's what we call it, the petrodollar. You call it a dollar if you want. But it's like this. Let's say I got all the water and I tell you, well, if you want some water, you got to come work for me. And I'm going to give you these little pieces of paper with my face on it, okay? And when you want some water, you got to bring them pieces of paper with that face on it to get water from me. But you can't get no water unless you come through me. That's what this is, man. And people think they rich or something, or they got because they got a bunch of cash, man. That don't mean shit. We got to go and hand over the shit to Esau, so-called white man. So we really don't own nothing. Okay, and that's why the Lord said in Haggai, he said we got a bag full of holes because we don't own no resources, man. Okay, we might have a little bit, you might have a little bit stocked up or whatever, but at that time, if there ain't no food left and you got all this shit stored up, somebody gonna come kill your ass and take that shit. You ain't gonna be able to fight everybody on the damn block for your shit. That's why we know we need Bahasham Rawchaa, man. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So like when this happens and they see this place get destroyed, it's going to be all over the world on the news or whatever, however they still able to talk. They're going to be like, hey man, America, Babylon the Great actually gone, man. They're going to be sad. They're going to be sad because they ain't make no more money over here. They ain't make no more money off this wicked ass place. Verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgment is come. And it's going to be quick, man. And everything's going to speed up right after they make this sea hit, come together. The sea hit be made mandatory. That's why we talk about it so much. Because after that, man, shoot, there ain't going to be no talking. Lord going to get busy. Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And this was the beginning of when Great Millstone, it wasn't Great Millstone first. It started off with Old One West, and then Great Millstone kept that doctrine that they got from them. So that's what this is talking about. That 3 days and a half after slavery, man, 350 years, man, of us coming back all the way from over there over here into slavery. Once Abba Bivens started teaching this with our other three spiritual fathers, Yahawah, we got King Mashah, who we know and believe is King David. We say that and believe, man. We say that and believe, man, wholeheartedly. So, so and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of the life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. See? So they be acting like they ain't scared. When you be out there on the streets and whatever and teaching, they look at you like, whatever. Well, their spirit is doing something else. Okay? They're terrified. Okay? The Lord's telling us they are. It even said that the rulers of the earth, they it said that they heard the report of the prophets, and it said that they were holding they vows like they was like a woman in travail, man. Like they was in pain, man, because they knew that slavery coming. So this is talking about also Great Britain, which is the mother of America, Babylon the Great, is also going to join this Brics. You're going to see. Because you were glad, because you rejoiced, in Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 11, because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because you are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. We know that's talking about America, Babylon the Great. Your mother shall be sore confounded, right? Which means ashamed. And who's the mother of America, Babylon the Great? Britain. They're the ones who helped start the 13 colonies, all they, boule shit and the first fraternities, and they got all that money, from Britain. So she that bear you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nation shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert, man. Gonna tear this motherfucker up, man. Okay? Why? Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that go about Babylon shall be astonished in his other plagues, man. That's what we was talking about. It also says it over here. Jeremiah 49:17. And you got to remember, all these people who wrote about these things wrote out them at different times, man. And they were all on one accord, just like we are today. That's how we know great millstones and prophets coming back. But they know everything now, because now everything's in place and they get it now. They just don't remember who they are, but that doesn't even matter, because none of us can save each other. We need Yahawashi. It's all about Yahawashi. Jeremiah 49:17. Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that go by shall be astonished and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. So that's just to show you, there's several times the Lord, shows us that if you don't get this warning, man, all them damn times he didn't got them writing this shit, then hey, man, Lord didn't want you to know. So, Lord willing is edifying to the flock. Shalom to elect Israel, to the hopeful elect Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, and the foreign Israelites of elect the other nations, scattered across four corners of the earth. Gotta give all praise to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Gotta give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Want to give double honor to those and apostles. Great millstone led me to the truth, been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and so forth. The Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord, when we part of that number, Lord, when this be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and strive and so forth. The Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord, when we part of that number, Lord, when this be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and strive and so forth. The Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. The judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. Not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 is unto a ring. 2 Peter chapter 5, verse 42. Lord, one will be able to serve you. How about another day? And get out here, do what we got to do. Come back, do this work which matters the most. So, walk for tuning in. Walk, Baba Ball. Shalom.